tigers. I'm from the county.
I'm from the county.
Ain't talking about jail.
Ain't talking about jail.
Money get counted.
Money get counted.
Like I'm paying the bill.
Like I'm paying the bill.
Straight out of Harris.
Straight out of Harris.
Straight out of Harris County. Ain't talking about Houston.
Ain't talking about Houston.
I'm in Georgia with dogs and tigers. I'm from the county.
I'm from the county.
And welcome into Kudzu Sports. I'm your host, Rick Beach. This week we're presented by Mike Jolly and the Harris County Sheriff's Office. Thanks to all the deputies, jailers, and investigators that make the Harris County Sheriff's Office, and appreciate everything they do for the county, and appreciate Sheriff Jolly and his support of Harris County athletics throughout his whole term as sheriff. I believe it's 30-something years. He's been in there, and he's always involved with the high school, always involved with athletics, and we sure appreciate everything that he's done up here. Now, big weekend for Harris County. Now, last week, we had softball had a big week going into football. Just this week, we got flag football kicks off Tuesday. We got a huge matchup Friday night. We got softball kind of wrapping up their regular season. So it's pretty exciting time. Last week, we saw Coach Jenkins with the softball team get his 300th career win. That was, exciting night. But the big thing was senior night that night. The 5 seniors went out. They all got to play. Miss Lee, Avery Lee, who's been hurt all season, got to pitch that one pitch, little ceremonial thing, but still she was listed as a starting pitcher. But all the seniors are going off to college. They all had a great game. Harris County blew out Callaway, but, you had Laney Dansby, Lindsley Brown, Tatum Richardson, Madison Anglin, then Avery Lee. All of them, like I said, all of them going to college. All of them got their name on the lineup sheet at least. Then the 4 that got to play all showed out, had a great game. Softball's 20-2 on the season. They're going to wrap up probably just the 2 losses before getting ready for postseason play. Football had Griffin winless this season, been struggling. Opening kickoff of the game, homecoming crowd was packed out. Opening kickoff, Christian Olson goes by 89, 90 yards, sets the tone for the game. An electric kickoff return just because the atmosphere, the amount of people. It was kind of the first kickoff at dark with the time, how the time's coming, and the later kickoff. So it was just a great night. The 31-16 win really wasn't even that close, which is customary for a Tommy Watson ball game. Coach Watson loves to just get a lead, take the air out of the ball, and sit on it. And Friday night was no different. Christian Olson added 2 rushing touchdowns. On top of that, he was the Alex Quinney All-State Good Hands Player of the Game for Georgia Alabama Sports Live. So I'll be able to present him with that plaque hopefully on Friday. Go by there, see him, get his picture posted on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And we'd like to thank Alex Quinney for his support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And then I said this week we got the softball wrapping up, but flag football starts Tuesday. Heritage, who's 3-0. Central Carroll's coming in 2-0. And this is, of course, Harris County's opening 2 games, tri-match. It'll be Heritage and Harris County at 5:30. And then Central Carroll and Heritage will play. And then Harris County and Central Carroll will wrap it up at around 7:30 for the last game. We had a great game. It was a great game last year. 1-possession game, the Harris County, Central Carroll. This year, Central Carroll's been a power just as long as Harris County since inception of flag football. So we're looking forward to getting the girls out there, getting the season started right. A lot of tough games on the Harris County schedule. Coach Zach Moss was on Friday night on High School Game Day, talked about the importance of he felt the last couple of years. They just kind of breezed through the regular season, got to the playoffs against tough teams, and they hadn't really got to play tough teams all year. So he wanted to make sure, Central, Smith Station, Pacelli, Columbus, got all them on the schedule this year. And then Central Carroll's one of them, the tournament coming up the 19th. So there's going to be certain aspects of this Harris County flag football team is going to play great competition to get ready for the postseason, which they ultimately, Coach Moss believes they can end up in the Georgia Dome, Mercedes-Benz, for that GHSA state championship. And, it's just like I said, it starts Tuesday. Come out, if you're in the county, come out there and watch them. It's a great sports season. It's going to be youth night, so it's going to be a good crowd already. It's going to have, see Cricket Collie, Pearson Pettit. You got Mo, we got Kendall Robinson, we got Lana out there. We got some great players. Then on defense, Addison Fowler. We got 2 blitzers, Liv and Bailey that can just flat get after the quarterback. Defensive backs got a little bit more youth coming in. We're trying to play some defenders that hadn't played as much. Usually it's kids go both ways. We're trying to get away from that where, kids can have a little bit more of a break. These girls need a little bit of a break between. But it's super fun to see. And, like I said, if you come out watch on defense, linebacker Addison Fowler has had a great, practice leading into the season. And on offense, of course, you're going to watch Cricket Collie, who's the best quarterback in the state, in my opinion, and I think just about everybody in the state's opinion how good Cricket is at quarterback. But look at these receivers. I mentioned, Kendall, Pearson, Hannah Huff come over from volleyball. We finally got her last week, started getting some rhythm going. Got some great running backs. I mentioned Mo. We got Kennedy. We got some kids that maybe you hadn't heard of too much if you did follow flag last year. So it's going to be an exciting time. We're super excited to get the season started. It's going to be, they play Tuesday, then we'll go next week. So the season starts Tuesday. Then Friday night is going to be a gigantic matchup for Harris County's football team. As Harris County has the one loss, but they're 6-1, but 7-0. Stars Mills comes in. Stars Mills coming off a thrilling 38-35 victory over Central Carroll last Friday. So this is for first place in the region. If you're Harris County and you can beat Stars Mill, you end up being tied at the top of the rankings in the region. So, right off the bat, this is going to be a huge game. I still got Central Carroll the next week, but just looking right now, you can't get too far ahead. You got to realize you're playing the number one team, and this will bump you up to that number one spot, owning the tiebreaker over Stars Mill. So this matchup is going to be huge Friday night. We're going to need a big crowd showing up, just like we had last week for homecoming, but we need that kind of crowd, like a playoff type crowd. It should be a playoff type atmosphere. Huge matchup. Stars Mills is a great program. They made it to the Final Four a couple years ago, I believe last year even. So they're a great team. It's going to be a fun matchup. They run the ball a lot. Harris County runs the ball, so it ain't going to take that long for the game to get rolling. But we're excited about this, type of matchup this late into the season. This is what it's all about. This is what you hope for every year. We got it last year with Coach Watson. That 11-game winning streak had some very important games. This is what you want. This is exactly what big time football. In the past, if you're a 500 team, you're thinking, okay, we're trying to get that 4 seed. We're playing the one, just chalk it up. But now we're playing for a shot at the number one in the region. And that's huge as late in the season. There ain't but a handful of games to go. So if you can grab it now, anything can happen next week. You win the region. And we saw what happens, the importance of winning the region when they made it to the Elite Eight last season, coming up just short against Jefferson in that Elite Eight. But, having home field for the first and second round was just huge for Harris County. And they need that kind of a win Friday could set them up for getting some home field in the playoffs down the road. So be sure to come pack out Tiger Stadium. Watch the Tigers. They're going to be on Danny Durham Field against Stars Mill, a great Stars Mills team. It's going to be, alpha on alpha, going to be top dog against top dog in the region. It's going to be a great matchup. I'm super excited about Friday night. And about just, these are the kind of matchups that you always wish for, and you just can't wait. You look at the schedule, and you're like, if we can be 4-3 or 5-2 around it, but man, we're 6-1. We're, exactly where we need to be. Get a win Friday night, and you're going to be in that 1 or 2 seed for the region, which will lock up home field advantage for at least the opening round of the playoffs, which would be huge for Harris County. We mentioned how tough this region is, and for Harris County to be, one of the top dogs in that region is just phenomenal in year 3 under Coach Watson. Super proud of, what him and his coaching staff has done, that defensive coaching staff. Pretty much they went from the second half of Jonesboro, the entire Northside game, then the first half of Griffin. So 2 straight games just of shutout. They gave up the 15 points and mop up kind of duty on just Griffin came out in that Wildcat, just started running. It was crazy. But, it's hard, it's 31-0, 24-0 to stay kind of keep a 15, 16-year-old kid. I was impressed with some young kids they got to play. Damon Brooks is one of the ones that came out. He was wearing number 14 if you was at the game or if you watched it. He made some great plays on defense. It's great to see him step up on, as a defensive back. He would. His last name's Brooks. He's going to play good DB. But all jokes aside, he was playing a really great game. And it was exciting to see him get his opportunity. And, Christian Olson, he won the Ironman in the offseason for Harris County. He's played linebacker. He has moved back to safety. He has to play some running back because of injuries. And the dude has shined at every position. He was a great inside linebacker or outside backer, inside backer. He's a great safety. He's been a great running back. The 2 touchdowns at running back plus the kickoff return, just phenomenal. He showed breakaway speed. He's not scared to stick his nose in there. He ain't scared to hit. When he's at running back, he'll run you over, or he can make a move to get to the outside and take it to the house. So it's super exciting to see Christian, who has some offers. Kentucky State's the big one that he's got. Kentucky State's where we have a couple players at, and it'd be nice to see him to get a visit up there. But he might spend this into getting bigger offers. He is we mentioned he was the Iron Man. He loves the weight room. He's getting bigger and bigger. And he's a fast kid. He's got good football instincts. From the very first game of the season, a wheel route went out there against Manchester, ran a wheel route. He covered it perfectly from the linebacker position. Got a pass breakup, and just a great job by Christian. So it's exciting to see that. We can't wait to see him Friday night. We can't wait to see softball get. They got a couple home games this week, just non-region games, trying to wrap up their regular season as they get ready for the postseason. And then the opposite coin, flag football is getting cranked up and getting ready for their season. So Tuesday night, come check out flag football. I believe Monday night, Harris County softball's got a game. And then Friday night, pack out the stadium. We need everybody. I know Mr. Lenny said he needs to make even more hamburgers than he made last week for this week. So y'all come by there. Come up to Tiger Stadium, pack it out Friday night, and try to pack out for everything. Tuesday night, go to the softball complex, pack it out for Coach Jenkins and his girls. And hey, can't wait to see y'all out there at Hamilton this week at all the sporting events. It's been a great fall season, and it's already October. August has really started. September was great, and I just want to get more and more, you know, people out there. I want everybody to pack out. These kids, these student athletes love it. They love the big crowds. They love, hearing the crowds, the cheers, the chants. These kids tell me all the time how much it means to them when they get to hear that. So be sure to come pack it out and give these kids something to remember. That's all we got this week on Kudzu. Just like I said, I'll see you out in Hamilton this week, all I can. And I can't wait to see you next week on Kudzu Sports.